let's get into our preview here of Oregon versus Utah. So Josh, what's the line on this one? What's Vegas thinking early on? All that kind of stuff. I think you said it's in Salt Lake City, so I think Utah has actually got some points in this one.
Yeah, like you mentioned quite a few times, you get a couple of points being at home, but I always say Vegas knows. At the end of the day, Vegas knows more than we do, and they do have right now. It could change. Utah is 3-point favorites at home against the number 3 Oregon Ducks, and I said that was surprising to me because I know a little bit about Utah, but the thing I know most about Utah is that their quarterback quit the team early in the season. Yeah. And so it's kind of surprising to me that they are the home favorites right now.
But Cameron Rising's playing well for Utah right now.
Came in, terrible situation. He's like, all right, well, I guess Brewer's out. Like, I'll take over. And like you said, he's been playing great. But for me, this is a matchup game for Utah. Obviously, Oregon does not pass the ball very well with Brown. He is phenomenal on the ground. Dye probably has the best mustache in college football. He's a good running back ever since C.J. Verdell went down. The run game's there, and Utah's like, yep, run towards us. That is exactly what we want. That is their strong point on defense. I know they've been putting a lot of secondary guys in the league. They're playing on Sundays, and they're killing it the last few years with Utah. But right now, their linebacker core and their front four is killing it for them. And I think this is where Vegas is like, all right, Oregon's going to have to pass the ball against Utah, and they're not going to be able to get it done.
Well, and Utah has had 5 games this year where they've held their opponent to either 102 rushing yards or less. They gave up one game 102, and then those other 4 were below 100 yards. So they're sound at fitting run gaps and stopping the run. And obviously that's what Oregon is going to want to do, Donovan, as they go in there, as Josh mentioned.
Yeah, and again, Utah is going to have the ability to say, okay, we dare you to throw the ball. We dare you to, because you had 135 or 140 yards passing against Washington State last week, if you're in the case of Oregon, right? And, on the flip side, it doesn't help Utah. They have 2 offensive linemen that, their head coach has been a little, quiet on whether or not they're going to play. They both got hurt playing Arizona last week. They're missing a starting defensive back. So they're going to be begging Oregon to throw the ball. Oregon, to me, and you guys can tell me if you agree or not, Oregon, to me, as a team, almost reminds me a little bit of Oklahoma State. Just bear with me for a second. Oklahoma State can run the ball real well. They got a good offensive line. They got some spotty quarterback play. Oregon reminds me in that way. They just seem a little bit faster, right? Which is why you can see the passing game maybe one day coming off a little bit, right? Because they have some of that speed. Not as physical as Oklahoma State, right? Because Oklahoma State is a tough group of people. But Oregon, I think we're waiting to see, especially from Utah's going to bait them, say, show us what you have.
Hey, Bird's word, nobody said that Oregon can't run the football. We said that's what they want to do going into this game, and they're going to face a Utah team that prides themselves on stopping the run. We just said it's going to be strength on strength. So nobody said that Oregon wouldn't run the football. They obviously run the football very well, and they have a quarterback.
That's all they can do.
Yeah, they can't pass the ball.
Yeah, we now. So nobody said that they can't run the football. So I don't know where you're thinking that came from. They can obviously run the football.
I will say about my Oregon take. That's what it was.
It's right. I didn't realize this, but this is actually a game between 2 brothers with the Sewell brothers. We got Noah and Neffy. They're both linebackers. Like, no wonder Panay was such a great offensive lineman. His 2 brothers are like really good linebackers that he's going against. So like for me, I just really like this linebacker core for Utah. Lloyd is another guy in their linebacker core that's being talked about draft wise. His stock's been going up all season long. So I think they're just gonna load the box. If you're Utah, really just load the box. Let Brown have to make plays because he's shown all season long he can be a liability in the passing game. Like, yes, he's gonna run, so like maybe put a spy on him if you're smart, but load that box up and just let them funnel these runs towards your linebackers and just shut it down. But to me, is Kayvon Thibodeau going to make plays? There's no way Oregon wins this game if they don't rush for over 200 yards. Like, they have to. If it's under 200 rushing yards, then their defense has like 3 or 4 turnovers for them to win this game. So I'm looking at a superstar like Thibodeau who's going to come in and wreak havoc and just give the quarterback nightmares, create opportunities for your offense to have a short field. I love Thibodeau. Had him as one of my Heisman guys before the season. Got a little banged up, but still killing it. 6 sacks this season. He's a top 3 pick. Probably
Yeah,
number one, probably number two.
And some people are in here saying that Utah's rushing defense they've allowed 138 rushing yards on average a game this year. That's nowhere near, saying it's elite, but it's nowhere near terrible either. You're allowing a less than 150 yards rushing a game. You're giving yourself a chance to get people off the field and force tough plays on,
especially against BYU, San Diego State. These are good running teams. USC's got a pretty high-powered offense. They've been kind of hit or miss this season. Arizona State can run the ball. They've got a mobile quarterbacks. Like, they've played some really good running teams. So I agree with you. I think their running defense is better than what a lot of people are giving them credit for.
Yeah, and no way have we even given a prediction year yet. So we'll see what ends up happening with what people are saying. But
I'm just saying Vegas knows what they're doing. And sometimes I'll look at this like, why is this line this way? Let me put $100 on this game, and this is a game where Utah's going to win by 4.
Yeah, so we'll see what ends up happening. You can't just throw out averages and things like that and say that's how a game's going to play out. So when you come to it, like I said, Bet Online spread is Utah -3 with the over under at 59. Go ahead and give your score predictions and kind of takes on this one, Donovan.
Yeah, I think as much as I want to see Oregon baited in that trap game, I still don't. I don't know if they slip up in this one. And I know Vegas, is telling me straight up, saying we know what we're doing. Like you mentioned, they know what they're doing. I still have a feeling that Oregon is going to win this game in a kind of a lower scoring game. I'm going to say 27-20 Oregon. It's a relatively kind of average scoring game. I think the run game kind of burns some time off the clock.
Yeah, Josh, go ahead.
I've been saying a lot about Utah, but I will say Oregon's been impressed with the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, Kayvon Thibodeau is one of my favorite guys. And once again, Noah Sewell as a freshman, he's been having a phenomenal season, leading the team with 79 total tackles and 3 sacks to add to it. So I like Oregon. I need to see more from Brown in the passing game for them to have a chance. Like I said, I like Dye. He came up, stepped up as soon as CJ Verdell went down. He's been running the ball phenomenal. So I think Oregon's defense can create opportunities against a guy like Cam Rising, who, like I said, kind of came into a bad situation with Brewer just quitting the team straight out. He's getting his opportunity. But for me, Oregon needs to make a statement this game, like I said, for the playoff committee. They think high of them. People are scratching their heads like, hey, we know you just have that one win against Ohio State. Like I said, Oregon fans, if you want them to be above Ohio State, make a statement this week, and maybe Ohio State slips up one more time, Donovan.
Yeah. And
I'll say 23-20 Oregon. I think it's a pretty low scoring game.
23-20. Yeah, I think so. The over under is 59 on this one. I'm definitely gonna go the under on this one because I just don't know how productive Utah is going to be. They in terms of, like you said, I think the Oregon defense is, in my opinion, a lot stronger than the offense. I think they're playing a lot better. People are, I think a little bit jaded on the run game, the productivity, because of their playing against the Pac-12 guys. And I'm talking about that level of competition. I think Oregon is going to maybe struggle a little bit early offensively. Their defense is going to force some turnovers, and then the thing starts to get out of hand a little bit late. So I'm going to take Oregon. Eric, you'll like this in the comments over there. I think I'm going to take Oregon to win this one 34-21. I think that Oregon takes care of business late, but I think it's, for 2.5, 3 quarters there, it's a closer game as things goes on. But Oregon, with their talent, is able to pull out late. Anthony Brown probably makes a few plays with his legs there at the end to pull away.